So we're going to show a little bit about the system that we have here at our nav desk that we use for while we're at anchor, our media center, because it's connected to our big TV. And then we'll also do a little bit of how we do our passage planning, weather routing, and all of that. So if we'll start with this. So this is a touch screen, and this is basically how we have it set up when we're underway. We have OpenCPN running. We used to use time zero, but they were very inflexible with their charting, their connections with radars, etc. And this system with OpenCPN, not only is it $500 cheaper, it's free, but it also works with our radar, connects into our boat systems, and we have a lot of different chart options, so it's just a much better system. So this is how we have it set up when we are underway, and we can also have our radar on, and the radar will overlay with our charts so that we can view all of this on our system here at the nav desk. But then this also does a lot of other things. So if you look over here, this is the section that has the data that we use while we're under sail. And then additionally, we can come over here. This is the information that we use while we're at anchor. So it gives us all of our energy data, our refrigeration. We just put a whole bunch of stuff in the freezer. That's why it's so hot right now. Our tank data, our propane levels. And so this is kind of the screen that we live on when we are at anchor. And we can also view, this is our B&G system, and we can view and control that from here as well. And that's kind of the high level information on this system. And then I'll show you a little bit about how we do our passage planning and weather routing. I'll do that on my laptop just because it'll be a little bit easier for me to show the details and do the screen recording. Okay, so here we've got OpenCPN on the laptop. So we'll scroll in here. I'm using the touch screen right now, so I don't know if you're going to see the mouse pointer. So here we are in OpenCPN, and the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we have updated weather. OpenCPN has a grid downloader, and the way you do it is you come up here and you highlight the area that you want, and it will go ahead and send a email to SailDocs, and then right away they'll reply back and give you the GRIB files. We've already done that. So we've got our GRIB data here. So we've got not only the weather but also the current. So we're going to pull that up. And then we'll turn this data off just so we can see it a little better. And then what we'll do is we go into our weather routing plugin. And I'll delete this one. This is one that we've already done. I've got two positions. I've got Grenada and St. Martin. And so we'll do a new route. We also have custom polars that we built for Sabado. So we'll use those. And since we're using a GRIB, we don't want OpenCPN to use climatology. And then that's all we do on the settings. So I'll go ahead and hit the compute button. And you'll be able to see the route starting to build. Okay, so we got our route. You'll see it here in green. And what this has done is it's created some information for us too on our report. So in here we can see that it's going to take 51 hours, and we have an average speed over ground of 7 knots. And then we've got our average and our maximum wind that we see. So with this kind of wind speed, we're probably either doing some motoring or maybe not. It looks like it's right on the beam, so it should be a good sail according to this. You know, we've got our less than half a meter swell, so that's looks like a good trip. So we'll keep this. So the way we do that now is we'll export it, and this is going to seem like a lot of steps, but we're moving this weather route to a few different systems, and this way we can keep them in sync. Okay, so now we've got that route in our manager, and you can see it here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to send it to the peer, and what that does is it takes that weather route and it copies it across our network to our nav desk computer. So now if we look up here, there's the route that we just did. So it's on there. Now the next thing that we do is we'll export this to our system, our B&G system at our helm. So now it's uploaded to that system, and the way that we can get to that from in here, we can go up to the helm and do it there, but since we're logged in on the laptop, we can just do it right here from the laptop. So now we'll be able to see that on our navigation system on the boat, there's the weather route, and it's the same route that we have on our nav desk system and the laptop. The other thing that we do is we use this as our anchor alarm. We do have the Vesper Cortex, which is a really good anchor alarm, but this works really well too, and I think I can see if I can make the alarm go off. Okay.
Anchor alert. Anchor alert. The vessel is now outside the anchor limit.
You know, and at night that's really loud, so.
Anchor alert. Anchor alert. The vessel is now outside the anchor limit.
So on this screen, what we've done too is everything is color coded with, you know, green being good, yellow meaning, you know, warning, and red meaning an alert. And the alarms are all voice enabled, so you don't just have an alarm buzzing that you don't know exactly what it's for. The alarm goes off and then it has speech that tells you what the alarm is. So that's been really helpful for us. And then, you know, additionally, this system also has our entertainment on it, so movies, television shows, and it's all remote capable. So because we have Starlink, we're always connected, and when we're off the boat, we can see all of this same data on our phones, and that includes our anchor watch. So it's been really helpful for us.
Does that system record history, maintain histories?
Yeah. It has all the historic tracks. It has all the historic voltages. Everything that it displays, it records. So we have all of that information going back a couple of years when we first started installing the system.
Has there ever been a time where you've been able to use that data to do sort of predictive maintenance or identify a problem?
Yeah, you know, we can tell when, you know, just very basic stuff. I use it as an example. We can tell when our refrigeration units are running more often than they have historically, and so that gives us a good indication that they're frosted up. We also track data. For example, we do our engine cooling water temperature, comparing that to the seawater temperature and engine RPM. And so we do a regression analysis, and that gives us an idea if there's something going on with the engine cooling system. So, you know, the standard system for this boat from the factory is another B&G chart plotter. And I believe those are about a $5,000 option in here. What we've done is we've gotten a touchscreen and a small Intel NUC computer, and all of this runs on 12 volts, so we don't have to use the inverter to power it. And this system has about 24 terabytes of data, and that's mainly our entertainment, all sourced appropriately. And this has just been such a huge help for us in that we can track all the information that we need easily on the screen, but through notifications, we can just let it do its thing, and it's going to tell us when something needs attention. We'll also say that all of the software that we run on here is all free and open source software. It's running on Debian Linux, Signal K, OpenCPN, Grafana, and it's just a rock solid, awesome system for us.
Have you noticed any differences between like the customer service and IT sort of side of using free software versus the more expensive ones we were using before?
Yeah, you know, all of this software has a very active group of developers, and you know they are looking for bug reports, and I generally hear back from developers within 2-3 days with a fix if I find something. So it just, again, it's working out really, really well for us.
Yeah. Cool.
Indeed.
Woo!